Yeah.
Yeah.
We're here.
I'm here, you're here.
I'm here, you're here.
We're here.
We're here. Hello. And
Hello.
you're here now too, listeners.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, so many people here with us.
I know there's at least one more.
That's not very social distance.
But it is me, because I'm re-listening to it.
Oh, yeah. Anyway. Welcome to Senior Detectives.
A Namcy Drew podcast.
Drew podcast.
Sorry. Slip of the tongue.
Slip of the tongue, yeah. Because if we do nothing else on this podcast, we will make Carolyn Keene rise from her grave and agree with us that the name is spelled Namce.
Yes, it's spelled Namcy. I will not stop until she punches me in the face.
Mm-hmm. I will not stop until I punch her in the face for punching you in the face.
Yes, and then my new goal is a dual goal. I want us to be in charge of her interactive.
Yes, this entire podcast will be our audition tape for her interactive. Please let us make a Namce game.
Please. If you know anybody who works for her interactive, or if you work for her interactive, please
get this podcast burn it onto a CD, get it on the desk of her interactive.
Get a cassette tape.
Get a cassette tape.
Get an 8-track.
Get a boombox. Play this on your phone next to the boombox. Record it into the boombox. Get that cassette out of the boombox. Bring it to her interactive. Tell them to let us make a game.
So, to backtrack a little bit.
A little bit of an intro.
We said this is a Namcy Drew podcast, but it's not a Namcy Drew podcast in that we are reading all the books one by one, we're playing all the games one by one, it's just kind of an all Namcy media podcast. It's an
all-encompassing Namcy cross-media experience.
Yes. We are just very invested in the Namcy storyline.
We love Namcy.
I want to kiss her and I want to destroy her. I'm treading the line here. Mm-hmm. But basically, we're just gonna put out a little epi of this podcast whenever we finish consuming a new piece of Namcy media.
Yeah, and who are we?
My name is Liz.
My name is Taylor.
Wow, great. What's your name?
Wow.
Oh, that's a nice name.
That's a great name.
Wow.
Anyway, we are two idiots who love Namcy Drew with our whole entire hearts. I grew up reading the books.
And I did not. I just love a good mystery.
Yeah, Liz loves a good mystery. I love a good book. Namcy Drew is at the intersection of those things. And since the quarantines have begun, I have roped you into playing the Namcy Drew Her Interactive video games with me.
And I love them.
They're so bad. They're so good.
They're so good.
Here's the thing.
In a bad way.
Here's the thing, because I know Jim Her of Her Interactive is listening to this.
Yes, of course.
Listen, Jim, you know that the games are bad.
You know that.
You know they're bad, right? But that's why they're good.
They're so good, Jim.
They're so good,
Jim,
and we love them
so
much. And when we're in charge of Her Interactive, we will make Bess and George kiss.
We will. We'll do a little romance dating sim option in there.
To do a Namcy dating sim.
Oh, combined with a mystery.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
We're getting too into it.
What are we talking about today, Liz?
We're talking about a video game called Namcy Drew and the Secret of the Old Clock.
Which is named after the first ever Namcy Drew book.
But, to my knowledge, it doesn't follow the plot of that book.
No, because it has the lilac inn in it, and that is from a separate book, I believe. I won't look it up.
Yes, me neither.
But Namcy Drew Secret of the Old Clock holds a really interesting place in the canon of the video games.
Yes.
Because it's not the first video game.
No, it's the first video game ever created in 1415. Don't look that up. But in the series of Namcy games, it is not the first one. So all of the games are pretty much...
So they're point-and-click adventure games.
Yes. And
for those of you who don't know.
Yes. And they take place somewhat modern day. I guess you could say modern day in the era it was created in.
Yeah. We have cell phones. Mm-hmm. They don't work.
No.
We can't use them in front of other people because then it's impolite.
It's rude. And so this one takes us back in time.
Yes, to 1930.
Yes, to right before the Great Depression.
Right before it. Well, no, didn't the stock market crash in 1928?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, to the Great Depression era.
And we don't have cell phones.
We have a coin purse.
We have coin purse, and it is the worst thing. It is the worst thing.
It's the first time we've played, 4 or 5 Namcy games at this point. We played Blackmore Manor, Secret of Shadow Ranch,
Shadow's Edge,
Secret at Water's Edge, Shadow at Water's Edge.
Yeah, and then the theater one.
Oh, Final Scene. The
final scene. Was our fifth
the final
one.
scene I played half of as a child and then was scared of and had to put down. So I'm glad that we got to return to that.
That was the first Namcy game
that we played.
Yes.
Yeah.
Memories.
Memories. We had to hide in a closet.
We do. In almost every Namcy game. I feel like every other game you gotta hide.
There's a secret passage in every Namcy game.
Oh, of course. It wouldn't be a mystery without one.
It wouldn't be a mystery unless there were a secret passage. But getting back to Secret of the Old Clock, this is framed as going back in time to Namcy's first mystery, right? It's the origin of Namcy Drew.
Which is to say that Namcy is so old.
Namcy is immortal.
Yeah, she's a vampire.
She is an immortal vampire. I'm honestly I'm surprised, but also not surprised that they didn't...
I'm not surprised at all.
No, that they didn't make her a vampire with a flying car like in Josiah's Notebook.
Oh, I was hoping.
I was waiting for that to happen.
Just the end, we find out I was hoping that Josiah was alive.
Yeah.
Faked his death. And built us, he was working on a flying car the whole time and he gave it to us.
And he was like, "Hey Namcy, do you want to be immortal with me?"
Yeah, and he gives us a potion.
And then he changes his name to Ned Nickerson because he's a master of disguise.
Yes.
Because he's an actor.
Why did she write... Oh, she wrote to Ned.
She did write to Ned.
But, he is not mentioned anywhere else in this game. I just noticed that. We just finished this game maybe 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. This is a cross-promotion to your Twitch channel.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/The Pigeon Wizard.
Yes.
The Pigeon Wizard.
Yes.
I messed up my words. But we're not going to edit this episode.
No. We're not going to edit any of them.
Anyway, so it's framed as Namcy's first mystery, but it does take place in 1930, which does give the horrific implication that Namcy is immortal and cannot die and is just sort of screaming inside her own immortal shell.
Yes.
At all times.
Yes.
Which is, I guess, why she seeks out so many mysteries. She's just waiting for death. It's nothing surprises her anymore. So she's just seeking out more and more mysteries.
The chase of a mystery is what makes her feel alive.
Yeah.
And when she's not doing a mystery, it feels like death is consuming her. Even though she cannot die.
Yeah. Oh. I just got sad about Namcy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So let's introduce our main cast of characters.
Course. Namcy. Classic. She's got her blue roadster.
She's got a blue roadster. She's got red hair. We can never see her face in a Namcy game or we die because she's looking into our eyes.
Yes. We have Jane
Willoughby.
She
Watch cooking.
That was her catchphrase in the show.
I love
the show.
The game?
The game.
We'll talk about the show later.
Yeah. Jane Willoughby is the caretaker for
Emily Crandall,
who is our friend.
Or I think a friend of a friend, right?
Probably.
A friend of a friend, Emily Crandall, whose mom just died. Her name was Gloria Crandall. She died. She was in charge of the Lilac Inn, which is a kind of bed and breakfast type place. But the kitchen burned down at the beginning of the game, which there's always a kitchen on fire. Blackmore Manor also had this. There was a kitchen fire. We're just never allowed in the kitchen.
They just don't want us to cook.
And Emily Crandall... she's essentially depressed. Emily Crandall is depressed because her mom is dead.
And Namcy sees something in her because her mom is dead.
Because her mom is dead. Not the last time we will talk about the fact that Namcy's mom is dead. That's an essential fact of Namcy Drew.
I feel like every episode we're gonna bring it up.
So we've got that, and then I guess we'll go into the plot later. But we have Emily Crandall who's sad because she has to run the Lilac Inn now, and she's not prepared because she's a mentally ill teenager.
Yes.
And so we initially go to her place to cheer her up, to see if everything's okay. So we've got her, we got Jane, we've got our daddy, Carson Drew.
I hate this. The whole time we were playing this game, there's two characters.
One of whom is Namcy's father, Carson Drew, who is, in fact, smoking hot in every single Namcy Drew adaptation, and I'll die saying
We can't even see him in the game.
Yes, but we can hear his beautiful voice over the phone if we pay a nickel to the phone.
If we pay nickel to the phone.
We hear his voice over the phone, and Carson Drew... So here's what we know about Carson Drew from the Namcy Drew canon. He's a lawyer. He's rich. He got Namcy her blue roadster. He's got her back if she ever runs into trouble on a mystery. And he's just here to help. Mm-hmm. And he's also deeply sexy.
Oh my god.
I'll die for Carson Drew. When we're in charge of Her Interactive, we're going to have a whole game where we're playing as Carson Drew. And it's just going to be a fuck fest.
God, Carson Drew fucks the game.
That's the dating sim, is we play as Carson Drew.
I don't want that.
And we're romancing various NPCs from the Namcy games. We'll romance Shorty from Shadow Ranch. We'll romance Jane Willoughby. We'll romance the heck out of Jane Willoughby. Anyway, our other characters, we have Bess and George, who are our friends, who we think they're cousins.
They cannot be cousins. They can't be cousins. Because they are in love.
They have to be lying about being cousins so that they can be roommates. Yeah. They're in a Boston marriage.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Sailor Moon, English adaptation, the English
I've never watched Sailor Moon.
So in Sailor Moon, in the original Sailor Moon, two of the Sailor Scouts are, in love. Mm-hmm. And for the English dub, they made them cousins. But they still, I think, kiss in the English dub. It's the whole thing.
Kissing cousins.
Oh, like the movie.
And we also pay a nickel in this game to hear them. Other games we can call them, but they're here to give us hints and helpful tips. And also in this game, they're here to yell at their neighbor who shares a phone line with them because it's 1930 and there's one phone line for the whole block, which I think is very fun.
It is.
There were a lot of, in this game... So Liz and I have talked about this. This is the best Namcy Drew game we've played so far. By far. Yes. And I think part of that is that there are just so many fun extra bits that don't have anything to do with the plot, but they just throw them in there.
Yeah.
Like the neighbor yelling about Bess and George getting off the line, or...
when you go... So there's a mechanic in this game where you have to make money to buy gas for your car.
Yeah.
Gross.
At Zippy's, where Zipless service is Zipply Zapped and Zip service is the Zippiest.
Oh, God.
I almost got it.
I'm having a panic attack. But there's this component where you have to deliver telegrams so you can get money to buy gas.
Yes.
And whenever you deliver a telegram, there's a little short scene, and I think those are just very fun.
It's just an audio scene, but God, they're so fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, I burped a little bit.
It's fine.
There was a bit where, when we were playing with the ham radio late in the game, and we just stumbled upon a dude.
Yeah.
And the dude, just talked to us about, being from the South.
Yeah. And Namcy was pretty rude to him.
And all of his siblings, and him being the middle child of 5 siblings, which, to be fair, is pretty rough, I bet. But also... Namcy was like, you don't have anything to do with the plot, bye. And I was like, this is so fucking funny.
That's so good.
Yeah, just it's very clear that Her Interactive, this is very clearly, just getting serious for a moment, this is not a canonical Namcy Drew game. And so it's very clear that Her Interactive, Jim, her, and friends at Her Interactive, were just sort of playing around with it.
And, you could tell, because it's a genuinely fun game.
It's a genuinely fun game, set in the time when, the Namcy Drew books are originally set.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just cool. Anyway, so we have Bess and George, we have our daddy, we have our father, my metaphorical father.
You can't have a daddy you can't call somebody father when our actual father is in the game.
In this game, I
cannot.
He's our father because he's more formal than Carson Drew. Richard Topham. So the part of this mystery is that there was this old man named Josiah who was an actor and loved Midsummer Night's Dream. Mm-hmm. And he was very rich and lived next door to Emily Crandall. And he died a few months ago.
Yes.
And his house was taken over by Richard Topham, who's a mentalist.
Yeah.
Psychological.
He's like Chris Angel.
He's like a magician boy. And he is always blurry.
Yeah, he's always just so blurry.
Jim Her just forgot to focus on that CGI shot.
They didn't want to.
They didn't want to.
They didn't have enough money.
Been too beautiful. Because it would have been like that movie where the guy's too beautiful, he kills people who look at him.
I suppose.
Richard Topham had to be out of focus because otherwise we would have died.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Richard Topham has a cat. Do we know the name of the cat?
Mimsy. I don't remember.
Mimsy. And Richard Topham is, like, a shady dude, but also is just, like, a shady grifter. Yeah. And that's just sort of his whole thing. He's fine. There's some, you know, he's like a Caroline Calloway. Like, definitely a grifter, but, like, harmless.
And then we have a banker who's literally just there to be a banker and let us in to some security deposits.
Yeah.
And, like, we have to sew a dress for him at one point for his wife.
We don't care about him.
No, he's just kind of there.
He's boring.
Thought he was the person.
We thought he was the person because this game tricked us.
This game tricked us the first time this game tricked us.
The first time this game has truly tricked us.
Because, like, you know, there's a saying where it's like, in a mystery, it's always the first person you talk to who does it. Mm-hmm. But that's not usually the case in the Namce games.
No, I don't think it is.
And this game, it was.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for Namce Drew and the Secret of the Old Clock
video game. Jane Willoughby.
Is not Jane Willoughby.
I don't remember
her real name.
Marion. It's very, like, the explanation for why this mystery happened is pretty dumb when you actually, like, take a second and think about it, because it's like, the real Jane Willoughby was a friend of Emily's mom's, and was, like, essentially Emily's godmother. And so when Gloria died, Emily sent Jane Willoughby a letter that was like, hey, my mom's dead, do you want to take care of me? Because I'm a mentally ill teenager. And this Marion woman, like, intercepted the letter and was like, I can get all this money from this person who's friends with this rich man who just died. And there was, like, a secret will that kind of didn't have anything to do with the Jane Willoughby plot. Yeah,
it had to do with, like, a weird B plot. Because there was a B plot with Richard Topham.
Yeah, he forged a will.
Yeah, he forged a will. So it was, like, two
mysteries.
Kind of. We just had to find the real will, and then we figured out who was living in the walls in this Lilac Inn.
Yeah. Which, you know, I am not a huge fan of the way that the Namce games end. Just like, they just kind of black and then there's a letter.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like, this mystery did not particularly wrap up in, like, a super satisfying way after the game was over, but, like, in game, one of the more, like, engaging Namce games.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say definitely, like, my favorite Namce game, but I think it's my least favorite ending overall. Because it's like, we have gotten from a few of the games in the past, we've gotten, like, explanations from the people who have committed the crimes.
Yeah.
This one, it was literally just, we have a little car chase, which was fun, but then Marion crashes and is like, oh, nuts, you got me!
Yeah.
And then you hear police sirens and it just cuts.
Which, to be fair, is, like, the classic Namce game thing to do.
Well, we've gotten a few games, like the final scene and stuff, where we get, like, a reasoning from the people.
Oh. Like, we get before we get to the end.
Yeah, like, we get an interaction with the villain.
Sure.
And it's not just, like, a one and done thing.
Sure. I think the more modern games lean more towards that, like... Oh, I'm burping a lot. When we played Shadow at Water's Edge, we got to affect the ending.
Yes.
Right? We got to talk to Rentaro and be like, either, like, you should try and mend things with your girlfriend, or, like, get the fuck out of here. You ruined everyone's lives. Which was very fun.
I think I also liked this game because the puzzles weren't the worst.
Yeah. I think we might have, like... I don't know. I mean, we always look at walkthroughs when we're playing these games because the puzzles are always esoteric and terrible.
Yes. We needed a little bit for the beginning, but, like, the majority of it, I feel like we didn't.
I feel like, at the very least, even if we did need a walkthrough to figure out exactly what we needed to do, we felt like we had all the pieces.
Yeah.
Which I haven't always felt like happened in an Namce game.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel like we come up against a puzzle that we know we're supposed to do right now, and I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Yes.
And like, the way the puzzles interacted with each other, like, the whole sequence at the end with the hobo codes and the radios and stuff was, like, very seamless.
That was so fun.
I think that's the thing. It's not quite that, like, the puzzles were easier than other games, it's that the puzzles made sense with each other.
Yeah.
And interacted in a very cool way. I don't know. What was your favorite part of this game?
My favorite part of this game was when Marianne we would go up to her and she would say, "Watch cooking," and then I have two favorite moments. My other favorite moment. So if you're not familiar with Namcy Drew games, all of the people are weird, like claymation type and animated.
Yes.
There was a couple moments where Jane had some close-ups and they were very jarring. Emily.
That was Emily. Yeah.
Yes.
There are lots of Janes to keep track of, so it's fine.
Yes. She had a few close-ups that were pretty jarring and spooky.
Yeah. But like that, bringing up the animation in this game, more animation and more fluid animation than we've seen in a lot of Namcy games.
I would say the most fluid animation we got was from Emily. I feel like the rest of the people were still pretty choppy.
Yeah.
But they put the work into Emily and it showed.
But like even the sequence in the barn when you lower the ladder is very cool. I thought just the way that the lights turned on in the tunnel was very cool.
I feel like they had a very clear vision for specific, like, parts, and the rest they kind of just filled in.
Yeah.
And, like, you could tell, but...
That's fine.
It was still good.
What was your least favorite part?
Well, what was your favorite parts?
My favorite parts? Completely blanking now. I think, I think the part, when we realized that there was a secret tunnel and we both freaked out.
Hell yeah.
Was very cool. I think just going through Josiah's journal I really liked because I like it when a puzzle game gives you like a thing that's like, hey, if you ever get stuck, there might be a thing in here.
Yeah.
So I liked that even if I felt I was stuck, I could at least go back to Josiah's journal and be like, is there anything in here that can help me? Mm-hmm. And I just liked the little tidbits that we got about Josiah's personality, because he was very clearly, like, a weird dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, there were a lot of small character moments that I really liked. I really liked when we were talking to all of Josiah's friends on the ham radio, and they were, like, telling us about how weird Josiah was. Yeah, I just think there were a lot of, like, little character building moments.
Yeah.
That were very, very fun.
I think this has the strongest characters of the 5 Namcy games we've now played.
Yeah. I think that's what makes it a good game, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like, well, that's the thing is, like, strong characters can make or break a good piece of media.
Yeah.
And I feel like this makes it.
Yeah. What was your least favorite part of the game?
I feel like I'm painting in broad strokes.
Sure.
I feel like my least favorite part about, like, Namcy games in general is so much clicking to get where you need to go.
Yes, there was a lot of clicking to get through the grounds of the home.
I didn't love the having to grind for money.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Specific.
Mm-hmm.
We had to... So, in Namcy, if you hit too many potholes, your tire bursts, and you have to get a new spare tire from Zippy's.
And it cost $2.
And we didn't have $2. And you have to sort nuts and bolts. And if you get one wrong, it resets. But it doesn't reset the same nuts and bolts. It generates new nuts and bolts every time. Mm-hmm. And I messed up a few times. And that was my least favorite part.
Yeah.
What about you?
My least favorite part, mini golf. Everything having to do with the golf set, because there's like a whole section that's like a mini golf range and like a little arcade game of golf.
That was my other nemesis.
Yeah, your other nemesis. And also, like, I just felt like it didn't fit with the rest of the game at all. Given that, like, I felt like so much of this game was like somewhat thematically cohesive. If not in terms of, like, the Depression time period with, like, the hobo code and shit like that. Mm-hmm. There was this whole thing about, like, well, Josiah was a weird dude who was into, like, ESP and also Shakespeare. And, like, those two things weirdly worked together for me.
Yeah.
Like they worked in, like, this aesthetic of, like, weird old dude who lives alone.
Yeah.
But the mini golf is just, like, the set just looks so garish and out of place. And it's just off away from everything else. I think the Bard game in the living room of the Lilac Inn is similar, and that, like, why is this thing here? Which I get that there, like, has to be, like, a little arcade game in every Namcy Drew game, because you have to, like, unlock a thing. But, yeah, I just didn't enjoy figuring out how it wasn't a terribly difficult mini golf game.
Yeah.
But it just fell out of place.
It kind of was. It was the way you beat the games, you had to have a specific score. So, like, you had to have, like, 25 by the end.
And then the other game was, like, you just have to guess what order the golf balls
That one was less hard than the mini golf, I
felt like it was less hard but more tedious.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Any other stray thoughts about Secret of the Old Clock?
I don't know. There's a lot of clocks.
A lot of clocks.
So many.
There were like 6 old clocks.
Yeah.
They were all old clocks. And I was like, which one's the old clock?
And they all had a secret.
Yeah, they all had a secret. They were all the old clock.
It should have been Namce and the Secret of the Old Clocks.
Oh, it was a misnomer. A misnamer.
Is there anything else?
I mean, who would you want to date from this game? We gotta have like a romantic interest in the game.
I mean, I wanna...
You know who I would date.
I know.
Both of them.
Both of them. I wanna date Marianne.
Okay. The fake Jane?
Yeah.
Okay. Watch cooking.
Watch cooking.
Don't take any wooden nickels.
Just, we love a bad girl.
We love a bad girl. I love how they started out the game just very strong with the 1930s slang.
Yeah.
And then just sort of
tapered off.
Yeah, let it go, which was very fun. Yeah, so should we jump into our book segment?
Sure.
Of the episode?
Yeah. I mean,
we should give this game a rating.
This game,
we should each have a rating.
You go first.
Okay. I will give this game...
We should go 1 to 10.
Yeah,
and then we combine our scores, and then...
Yeah. But we each have to pick our own metric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Like, I'm gonna give this game 8 out of 10 old clocks.
Okay. I'm gonna give this game 9. Zippies.
9 zippies.
So...
And 8 old clocks.
We got 17 total. That's a pretty good score right off the bat.
Pretty good score for it. Namcy Drew and the Secret of the Old Clock. Available on Steam.
Yeah.
And wherever...
Or you can watch us play it on my Twitch channel.
On twitch.tv/thepigeonwizard.
Yeah. Whole thing's up there. And so is our Secret of Shadow Ranch playthrough.
Yes. Which we will not talk about.
No.
But did happen. Ever. We will never talk about those games. What do we have next?
I feel like, how long do we want this to be? Because we're going on almost half an hour.
I could go for a few more minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I got the book of Secret of the Old Clock right up in front of us right now.
Yes.
What if we just, like, each chose a random page out of 120?
Yeah.
And then we'll just read a snippet.
Yeah. So why don't you pick a page first?
I choose 33.
Read a snippet. We'll try and see what's going on in The Original Adventures of Namcy Drew by Carolyn Keene.
"You're a doll," cried Allison, who had answered the telephone. "Nancy, I just know you're going to solve this mystery." Suddenly, an idea came to Namcy. She asked Allison how long the girls would be able to stay at River Heights. "Oh, as long as you need us," Allison replied. "Good." Oh, sorry, I'll read this in the game Namcy Drew voice.
Of course.
It sounds like a weird off-brand Jennifer Coolidge. "Good. Then I'd like you both to stay and have supper with us," Namcy said. Anyway, not much is going on this page.
Well, who's Allison?
Her wife?
Her wife? And who are the girls? Because there are multiple girls.
Their basketball team.
They're all a softball team, like in a league of their own.
Yeah.
Gina Davis is going to have supper with Namcy.
Oh my god. Do you want to pick a page?
69.
69, the funny number.
Should I read now?
Sure.
Okay.
Just pick anything.
"Funny I didn't hear anything about the Tophams deciding to give up their cottage," she murmured. "And I must say those moving men were awfully careless." No period after careless. A vague suspicion that had been forming in the back of Nancy's mind now came into startling focus. "Those men may not be movers," she burst out. "They may be thieves."
Whoa.
At once, Nancy thought of the dark gray van which had stopped at the Turners. Those men may be the same ones who robbed them.
A lot more is going on.
A lot more is going on this one. First of all, the Tophams.
The Tophams.
As in Richard Topham.
Yeah.
So that must be an adaptation for the game.
Yeah.
I don't remember enough about these books to know.
This was a really good segment.
This is a great segment. We've got action, we've got movers, and we've got thieves.
Yes. We got the girls. We got the softball basketball combination team.
Yes. That's great. What a good podcast.
What a great podcast.
I
I can't believe we're already making millions of dollars as we're recording this.
Anyway, subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah. Get exclusive content.
Exclusive content.
It's just us typing Namce every day.
It's an hour of me talking about exactly what I would do to Richard Topham.
Yes.
While staring directly into the camera and not moving.
It's a point of view video.
It's a point of view video. You're Richard Topham and I'm describing what I'm gonna do to you.
No! Oh, no. My bones. My bones.
My only goal with this show is to make Liz's bones fall out.
And they already are.
Every episode, one bone will fall out of your body.
Yes.
Which bone is it this time, Liz?
Oh, it's all of my teeth.
Oh, every tooth.
Yeah, it's technically one bone, right?
Yeah. Teeth?
Yeah.
Teeth is a bone.
Teeth is a bone.
What's in the future for senior detectives on the Namcy Drew podcast?
Probably television.
Yes.
And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that.
That's our little tease.
It's our little teaser.
Anyway, thanks for listening.
Don't find us anywhere.
It's a mystery.
It's
they
a
just
mystery.
solve the mystery. If you can find us and listen.
If you can find us just based off of the names Liz and Taylor, you deserve to follow us.
And the Twitch channel.
Yeah, and the Twitch channel. That'll probably be.
But if you solve the mystery of our social media handles and you follow us, then you solve the mystery and you get a prize, which is you get exclusive bonus content from our social media feeds.
Yes, you get to follow our social media feed. You have to tell us. You have to let us know.
Slide into our DMs. Tell us what you would do to Richard Topham.
No. I have like goosebumps on my legs. What is going on? They're not the good kind.
Oh, no.
We have to end this.
Anyway, if anyone at Her Interactive is listening, please put us in charge of your games.
I know we said it once. We'll say it till the day we die.
We'll say it till the day we die.
Please, Jim Her, step down. Give us the mantle.
Jim Her. Okay, so for now, we have been the senior detectives.
Yes.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Liz.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.